And with that, I will give a brief introduction of the candidates. A businessman from the Beaufort County Council, Mike Covert. A financial planner and a member of the Mount Pleasant Town Council, Kathy Landon. And an artist and leader of Bikers for Trump, Chris Caucus. And with that, we'll start with the first of the opening statements from Mike Covert.
Hey, Brian. If you all don't mind, I'm not going to use the lectern. I think you can probably hear me okay. Is that right? Good evening, good wet evening. My name is Mike Covert, and I'm running for U.S. House of Representatives, South Carolina, 1st Congressional District, right here in the Tri-County area, also including Beaufort and Colleton. I do want to say welcome to Joe Reynolds running for the U.S. Senate and Brian Adams running for the South Carolina Senate. So the focus, the nexus of this whole thing is that Joe Cunningham must go home. I feel and I believe that I am, when you talk about liberty, I am the liberty candidate. A lot of people would say, well, how, why, and prove it. Well, I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm the only one up here that, as an entrepreneur business owner, has had to sign the back and the front of a paycheck. I'm the only one that has had to historically wake up at 4 o'clock on Wednesday mornings and worry about payroll until I sold my business. As a liberty candidate, I reached out to other liberty politicians across the state and have been endorsed by 2 Representative Josiah Magnuson, the South Carolina House, and former Senator Lee Bright, both very staunch liberty candidates. We think the same, we believe the same, that our liberty, our personal liberties are at stake. And that was best seen by the show on TV last night. I've talked to several people tonight who were talking about that, and if you ever worried about your liberty, last night showed it. But I think last night also put Donald Trump solidly back in the White House. Again, my name is Mike Covert, and I'm thankful to be here and talk to you this evening.
Well, good evening, everyone. Like Mike, I don't think I necessarily need the lectern, so would love to, first of all, thank all of you for being here tonight, and especially in the weather and all. So, again, we're here because we need to send Joe home for an early retirement. And you know, when someone becomes an incumbent, it is tougher. So one of the things we have to do tonight is we have to make, not tonight, but as a whole body before the election, is we have to get the candidate who can actually make sure that happens, who we can all vote for and feel good about and get behind. We don't want a repeat of last time. So we need someone that can bring the party back together and work together to send Joe home. By the way, my campaign is the one that created the Congressional report card, which early on was shared by all the campaigns until we added the logo. Maybe it still is. And it shows that he votes 89% of the time with Maxine Waters, 89% with Adam Schiff, 87% with Nancy Pelosi, 85% with AOC. Okay, we're getting sick to our stomachs, so I'll stop talking about that. But clearly, and he also voted for the impeachment, which this is a plus 12% Mr. Trump. We all voted for him for president, and we feel like we should have the right to say who gets elected next. That said, a lot of you have heard my story, but I'll just briefly tell you. People ask me, okay, you're a businesswoman, you're a financial planner, but do you have the toughness and the guts it's going to take to really not only win this thing and beat Joe Cunningham, but to go up there to Washington and help President Trump drain the swamp? And I'm here to tell you the answer is yes. Because the things that you can see from my exterior right now are the things from my childhood that were probably the toughest things of all. And that is that, first of all, my dad died when I was 12, my mother when I was 13, about a year and a half later. And because of that, I went to live with an older half brother, and I will just say that at that time, I had to find my way to move forward. Then I went off to college at 16, when I was only 16 years old at Duke University, married my husband, who was a Navy man, was a Navy wife, knew what it was like to have my husband in harm's way and to actually have to worry about whether he was going to get home okay. And I definitely have the toughness it takes to send Joe home. Thanks a lot for listening.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
Good.
I'd like to start them off saying that I challenge each and every one of you to identify someone who's expanded the Republican Party nationally more than I have, with the exception of Donald Trump in the last 10 years. I posed the same question to the RNC. I posed the same question to Channel 4 News last Thursday when Vice President Pence was there. And I want to ask you, I've asked all my opponents, there isn't anybody. I didn't set out to expand the Republican Party that much. I set out to impact Donald Trump's election. Okay? But what led me there, maybe the first time you ever saw me was in 2013 when the government shut down. I started cutting the grass and cleaning up the trash in the Washington, D.C., and they called me the Lawnmower Man. I wish they'd cut up a better name. And I had a bill introduced as a result of that. So I convinced Congressman Darrell Issa to help me develop a bill that would prevent the government from ever doing anything like our administration. Monuments Protection Act. It's been introduced with bipartisan support. In 3 weeks, I'll be back in the Oval Office. I was in the Oval Office on the 20th of December, and the president gave us a head of state reception, which means like a president went in. And I delivered the Amish. So here, 5 years ago, I was an artist in Mount Pleasant. On December 20th, I delivered the Amish. No Englishman or politician has gotten to them in over 200 years because they talked to them about the wrong things, roads, schools, and taxes. Like me, they hate abortion. I explained that they could vote on biblical principle, and they could be David and slay Goliath. David is a vote for Donald Trump. Goliath is abortion. So there's a lot more. I got a lot more to talk about, but 2 minutes there in a nutshell. But please check out my website and my Facebook page at ChrisCox2020.com. Or at